mostly I just did like backyard kind of birding or, you know, going out with binoculars. But honestly, I didn't really get into like birding until after college, where I took an ornithology course, and then I had to learn 228 birds in the span of 4 months, and I learned those birds. Just birds are such a passion of mine in all ways. It's such a, you know, way for me to just like feel that connection in the way that, you know, even with birding, like how like this time of year where you're first starting to see like the white-throated sparrows again, you're seeing the dark-eyed juncos again, you can connect with like the seasons and the passing of time, even in going to other places. If I go anywhere, the binoculars come with me, because like every place has such a unique like ecosystem, and birds are such an accessible way to tap into that and like understand like this is the kind of like habitat they're in, this is the environment that you're in, this is what this area supports. And I was very lucky, like my mom, who grew up in Brooklyn, took the leap to like move to Long Island, like partially to have like a life where I could have better access to green spaces. And like she was always very happy to take me out to whatever naturey things I did. Like she bought me like binoculars for like beginner binoculars for a child that I was like I really wanted. She's like, sure, I'll get you those. Yeah, it was a cause and effect of I like birds, I should work for Audubon, not like I work for Audubon, maybe I should like birds now, which many people go through. So I applied to Audubon straight out of college. The position I applied for was like a summer camp counselor kind of role. I was like, this is a great job. I'm gonna get paid money to tell people about birds when I already do that for free all the time. So it felt like a kind of win-win situation. Actually, when I first came here to work was when I realized that I had been here before as a kindergartner many years back on a field trip. And it really made this like serendipitous moment where I came here and I was like, I came here, I experienced nature in a way that like brought out the nature lover in me that already existed. So it was really exciting for me to be able to come here and have that opportunity to like be that person, be that educator for a whole other group of students. And, you know, it was a feeling that persisted as I ended up getting a like permanent educator position here.
It's interesting to think about like how you were part of the original organizing effort of the bird union, or
No.
Okay.
I was part of the group that got laid off.
Okay.
That inspired the organizing. You know, when I was delightfully laid off for a whole beautiful year back in 2020, like I spent a lot of time, like I would go outside for a walk, like I was some sort of my own pet perhaps, for like an hour and a half every day, and I would go out and take that time to like bird, and it really gave me like this sort of space that I could exist in, and it gave me like a way to really feel like anchored in where I am and like what's going on here. And July 1st, they were like, congrats, you're full time again. I was like, yay. And then I was like, and I can be in the union now, even better. Listen, we work here because we a lot of us, we love the work that Audubon does, but like, we also need to like survive. And I would also, you know, from my personal experience as someone who was laid off by Audubon, like really like the idea that they can't just like do that. And I think in giving people these actual protections in the workplace will really empower people, and especially people of like marginalized identities, to stand up for their needs, their community's needs, and, you know, give people the ability to say like, hey, the way that we're doing this is wrong. We need to do this another way. By having that security in your position, having the security that you can't just be like, goodbye, like fired because like you said something that your boss doesn't like, it gives people more power to like engage in the work from the lenses that matter to them, that continue this environmental justice, that make people feel included. And it's like, it's important. Like, and it's making a change. And I do be, you know, more involved in that stuff. Kind of similar to like the whole, like, in the grand scheme of the environmental world, like I have a skill set that's useful in circumstances like this. And I'm very proud that like I do get to be part of it. Like it's a big part of like why I'm still with this organization, is like having this to be a part of it and like to look forward to.
Hey, Dr. Gray! Ha! I wanna know, will you raise my hand?
We know what we're worth. We're gonna stand here as the bird union. We're going to fight to get what we're worth. My beautiful vest. That took me so long to make that I designed my little text. Crocheted by hand. I used so much red yarn for this, and now it's covered in cat hair, but it took me quite a while. That's the love, all this bird union love is what I put in this, and it was a labor of love.